Hola, bienvenidos al podcast del subjuntivo en oraciones subordinadas adjetivas. Welcome, I'm Senora Stanias. Today we're going to be talking about using the subjunctive in adjective clauses. Students will need to understand the use of the subjunctive tense in adjective clauses in Spanish. They should be able to identify when that antecedent is known or unknown and then choose the correct mood, either indicative or subjunctive. Students will be able to use the subjunctive in adjective clauses when the antecedent is unknown. And remember that since we're talking about the subjunctive, review that present subjunctive forms if you need to in podcast 4.1. As we go through this podcast, make sure you have your grammar sheet with you and you're taking notes and pausing as necessary. Also be sure and write down any questions you have for me. Since we're looking at the subjunctive, don't forget we have to have the subjunctive in situations that our dependent clause fits into the you weirdo categories. And here we have them once again for you to put down. Now, subjuntivo o indicativo, that really is the question. When the antecedent, in this case the subordinate clause of a sentence, refers to something, the antecedent, that is known to exist, the indicative is used. When the antecedent is uncertain or indefinite, then we need to use a subjunctive. And here are some examples. Necesito el libro que tiene información sobre las ruinas mayas. Necesito un libro que tenga información sobre las ruinas mayas. In our first sentence, I need the book that has information about Mayan ruins. I know this book exists. The second, I need a book that has information about Mayan ruins. I'm not sure if it exists, so I need to use a subjunctive. Buscamos documentos que describen el itinerario del viaje. Buscamos documentos que describan el itinerario del viaje. We're looking for the documents that describe the itinerary for the trip versus the subjunctive. We're looking for any documents that may describe the itinerary for the trip. Aquí hay alguien que conoce muy bien la zona. ¿Hay alguien aquí que conozca muy bien la zona? In the first, there is someone here who knows the area very well, versus the question, is there anyone here who knows the area very well? Couple more examples. María necesita 3 libros que tienen información de Nicaragua, versus María no necesita ningún libro que tenga información de Honduras. Notice that when the antecedent of an adjective clause is a negative pronoun, like nadie, ninguno, ninguna, the subjunctive is used in the subordinate clause. Here are some more examples. Elena tiene 3 parientes que viven en El Salvador, versus Elena no tiene ningún pariente que viva en La Palma. So Elena has 3 relatives who live in San Salvador, but Elena doesn't have any relatives who live in La Palma. Para su viaje hay 2 países que requieren visas. Para su viaje no hay ningún país que requiera una visa. For your trip, there are 2 countries that require visas, versus for your trip, there are no countries that require a visa. And finally, hay muchos viajeros que quieren quedarse en el hotel. No hay nadie que quiera alojarse en el albergue. There are many travelers who want to stay at the hotel, versus there is nobody who wants to stay at the hostel. Looking at the personal a. The personal a is not used with direct objects that represent hypothetical persons. Couple of examples. Busco un estudiante que hable quechua, versus conozco a un estudiante que habla catalán. The first one, I'm looking for a guide. I'm looking for a student who speaks Quechua, and I know a student that speaks Catalan. The personal a is maintained before nadie and alguien, even when their existence is uncertain. A couple more examples. Elena no conoce a nadie que entienda el problema del cálculo. Pablo conoce a alguien que puede ayudarla. Elena doesn't know anyone who understands the calculus problem. And the second, Pablo knows someone who can help her. Here's a little bit of practica. Try to do this on your own. Pause here, fill in those sentences. I'm going to go on, however, and you can check your answers. So, Laura quiere encontrar un hombre que sea simpático. Sus amigas no conocen a nadie que sea así. Pero su hermano conoce a un muchacho que es muy amable. If you have any questions about that, again, make sure that you ask. Now, ¿cuándo usaré eso? Es una buena pregunta. This use of the subjunctive is used commonly in questions. Here are some examples, and you will see the English-Spanish. Notice that we'll go through this one, the question, ¿Conoces un hotel que esté cerca de la playa? Do you know of any hotel that is near the beach? This is that uncertainty. I don't know if you have the answer to this. That's why I'm asking you using the subjunctive. If you know the answer to the question, or if the speaker knows the answer, notice that they use the indicative in their answer. Sí, el Hotel Dorado está al lado de la playa. So we'll try again a little bit of practice. Remember that in these questions, if the person responding knows the answer, then you use the indicative. So here you go, your first one. Pause it really quick, fill in the space. You're going to use a form of traer in the first one. Here goes the answer. ¿Desean ustedes que yo les traiga algo de tomar? Sí, queremos una tortilla de patatas, por favor. So the server is asking, would you like me to bring you something to eat? And the answer is yes, we want a Spanish tortilla, please. Second example, the question and answer. Once again, pause really quick. You're going to use a form of tener in your answer. And here we go, the answer. ¿Sabes que tenga que estudiar para el examen? Sí, tienes que repasar los apuntes con el subjuntivo. Do you know what I have to study for the exam? Yes, you have to study, review your subjunctive notes. And this ends this vodcast. Please make sure you complete the Google Docs after this. Y hasta mañana.